So currently we have 5 full-time here at Gigg, and then we do a lot of outsourcing for the different projects and campaigns and software that we do. And as far as members are concerned, we actually are getting ready to launch a product very soon here. I think right now we have like 20 users of the product, but we hope to one day have hundreds of thousands, if not millions of users. So yeah. In 2018, which I'm very excited about, this new coming year, we believe that this is our year. We are going to introduce our new social platform to help brands and businesses push whatever it is that they're working on to the masses using social media. We have a couple new ventures that we're a part of that we're excited to share with the world that people can look forward to. But it's going to be a big year for introducing some services and some applications that I think will help people in a big way. Outside of my solo album that I'm working on, which is a lie, we're actually really excited to be a part of a new project called Be Amicable, which unfortunately the country is dealing with a sexual harassment issue, and I think it's been the case forever, but it's really like, getting out there. We are working on a project that will provide a way to simplify the process and hopefully stopping sexual harassment in its tracks, and provide a service to corporations, enterprises, any business for that matter, to create a safer environment, to end the sexual harassment issues that are happening everywhere, unfortunately, because of a bunch of morons. Another project we're super excited about for 2018 is the Professor of Rock. The Professor of Rock is a destination where you can find many documentaries on some of the most popular songs in the history of music. Partner Adam Reeder is interviewing legends of music and even mainstream artists, talking to them about their songs and the story behind their songs. And so, me being a huge fan of music, as everyone knows, this is super exciting for me. So check out professorofrock.com and watch some really, really cool bits of content. How often do I travel, and where am I traveling when I do so? The majority of my travel is to LA, without question, for the different projects and things that we're working on. I'm actually traveling a whole lot less than I used to, but I think it's going to really pick up in 2018 again. But I mean, I used to travel every week of the year. My wife was a huge fan because I have such well-behaved children that she never had any problems without me there, which is also a lie. But I travel to LA a lot, get out to the East Coast ever so often, not too often. Texas seems to be where I find myself traveling ever so often, but LA for sure the most. Which lounges do I prefer to use and why? So I use the Sky Club. It's a really cool service or lounge that Delta provides. I really normally am only flying on Delta, but they have the best lounges that I've seen. Provide food, internet, really cool places to lounge, hang out, very comfortable chairs that I like to sleep in when I can, and just a really comfortable place to hang out. And I normally can take, if I'm traveling with someone, they can join me in the lounge. Do I have corporate travel insurance, or do I find it useful on my own? The answer is, I think travel insurance is just utter stupidity and a waste of money. And no offense to any travel insurers. Am I a late packer for travel? The answer is 99.9999% of the travel that I do, I pack about 15 minutes before I actually get in the car and hustle up to the airport. So yes, I'm a late packer. I tend to procrastinate when it comes to getting ready for a trip, which drives my wife insane if she's ever joining me. But I always make it on time. I've only missed one flight in the history of my travel career. Do I travel casual, or do I dress up in suits for my trips? First of all, I don't understand why anyone would want to travel like this, but maybe there's a reason for it. I actually know that there are reasons for traveling like this. I never have done it and likely will never do it. I like to travel comfortably, so I normally will look for sweats, a t-shirt, a cap, and some Nikes to travel in, just something super comfortable. I like to be comfortable when I travel. Am I able to sleep naturally on my flights? No. The answer is I do not sleep on flights, nor have I ever. I I can't sleep on flights. In fact, I actually have held back from going and flying to my favorite destination, which is Maui, because I just am terrified of having to try and sleep when I take my midnight flight back home to be home the next day. Because I don't sleep, so I'm a zombie for the following day. I cannot sleep on flights. If you have any great ideas for me, please let me know. I will not do Ambien on flights because bad things happen when I've tried that before. Thank you, Donnie, for appreciating my dress. But the answer is, well, actually the question is it important to be dressed well in the business space? The answer is absolutely. Unfortunately, human beings tend to judge based on first appearance. And you want to always look the part. I was mentioning earlier, if some guy that I'm interviewing for a job comes in with a nasty torn shirt with barbecue sauce on the front of his white t-shirt, which there's a proper time for that, but not in an interview or walking around meeting people or asking someone on a date or seeing grandma. You don't want to, outside of the business space, appearance is very, very important, and you always want to do your very best to look the best. How do I stay in shape? I am a huge runner. I actually really enjoy running. A lot of people I talk to are just like, are you out of your mind? Why would you run? That's the worst, most horrible thing that's, ever you could ever do. So I really, really enjoy running. It's therapeutic for me. I love listening to music and listening to talks while I run. But running really is my outlet. I'm actually considering getting into biking here soon. I have some partners that love biking and have said it's a really, really good time. And I have some amazing trails here where I live now in Utah. Trail running is huge out here. And so I'm thinking about getting into biking soon as well. And with the amount of cereal that I eat, if I didn't run, I would look bad. That's all I have. Awesome. Currently, none of the employees really are traveling outside of myself. Actually, one of my partners will travel with me ever so often, but I believe that we'll see more travel here in the next year or so. But most of us can get our work done from here. That's the beauty of technology. So I prefer to actually meet face to face. So a lot of the times when I'm negotiating a deal or working with someone, I really I enjoy meeting face to face. I think that's the better way to do things. I'm not aware of any services or memberships that actually reward or help employees for businesses, travel better. I actually have a Centurion Card. Some people know it as a black card, but there are some awesome benefits that come along with having a Centurion Card with travel. I would say 99 out of 100 times that I travel, I end up getting first class, and it also provides the lounge service. And so, and that also goes along with a couple partners that I have that use my card, and my wife, and there's a lot of benefits to that. So if you have a chance to get your hands on one of those, it definitely has its benefits. One time a flight attendant sat on my lap and farted. I just was seeing if everyone was paying attention, and all three of them. That was a lie. So the funniest travel story that I can recall, a dad, he was a young dad, it was about 10 years ago, we were about the same age, and he had 3 little ones with him. And you could tell that it was very rare that he had all 3 at the same time without, his wife with him. And his youngest 2-year-old crapped all over him. He had crap all over him. And this poor dude is trying his very best to be a good father, and he's just not happy, and he is just under his breath. He wanted to put earmuffs on all his kids, saying the worst words ever, and one of his older kids started using the same language that he was, and it was just circus. So I feel for that guy. I would love it if he saw this. In fact, there's probably other men that have had that same story, but it was a disgusting mess, and I have gag reflexes. I started dry heaving because it smelled like the depths of hell. But, I felt for the guy. Actually, I have a lot of odd stories, but the worst story I had ever had, I had flown from Chicago back to Dallas to New York, and that was all in just a matter of 48 hours. And it was freezing cold. It was in the winter, and I remember on my flight back home from New York, I started getting really, really sick and like shaking, and I ended up passing out going to the to the restroom to like stand up and catch my breath. And I remember waking up to the the flight attendants over me like, "Are you gonna die, sir?" But I was sick as crap, and we were about an hour away from home. I got picked up in an ambulance on a stretcher, and I ended up getting pneumonia. So I was in the hospital the next day. I'm actually not that big of a China doll, but I was honestly just completely exhausted. I wasn't eating like I should, and it's important when you travel a lot to stay in touch with your health. And a lot of people get sick when they travel a lot, and I was not paying attention to myself, and I got sick as all get out.
And why?
Favorite country, city, and why? So my favorite place to travel is without question Maui, out in Hawaii. It's a magical place, beautiful. I love the Grand Wailea Resort. A huge fan of Regis, the St. Regis. The St. Regis hotel is just beautiful, and every time I go there, I love it. My wife and I also recently traveled to Punta Mita and stayed at the St. Regis in Punta Mita. That place is a beautiful destination. I've always been a big fan of Cancun. I love the white sand and the blue water. My favorite hotel is down there. I love the JW Marriott, and I love the Aqua. The Aqua is really, really cool. Anyway, those are some of my favorites. If you get on a flight, the wisest thing that you can do is make an effort to meet the person to your left or to your right. There is so much to learn from random people, and that's actually an opportunity for you to meet someone. And I have actually, found great friends that I still communicate with based on me just making an effort to reach out to the person sitting to my left or right. So that if I were to give one bit of advice on regular travel, make an effort to meet people, because you never know what's going to come out of it. And especially, with regard to business, there's a lot of amazing people out there and a lot of opportunities. So make an effort to meet someone.